Hey everybody, it's Coach Jason. Hope you're enjoying a start to a nice weekend, and hopefully getting out there as often as you can safely, and helping each other just get through these crazy times. But today I want to talk about 10 things that I've learned over the years, over 20 plus years as a coach, that can just help you become a better coach. Whether you're a high school coach or a college coach or a club coach or a running coach of any kind, a personalized running coach, these things I think will help elevate your coaching, to another level. Okay, some of them might be obvious, but some of them might not be obvious. Some of them are particularly if you're, coach large groups, and then some of them don't. But as coaches, I think it's important to always be open to other philosophies and bits and pieces of knowledge. It's not a hit. Saying, well, he or she knows this, and I guess I don't. It's not a hit against you. It's just other coaches just trying to help elevate the coaches. So and that's just part of my personal belief system. I always felt that I wanted to help other coaches as well. We're a running community, and I think it's the more we help each other, the better the sport's going to become. So, with that said, here are 10 things I got in my book here that what I think will really help propel your coaching. Number one is always put the needs of your athlete before your own. Okay, training in your program, at least my personal belief is that the philosophy in the program needs to be centered around your athletes, not the coach. I know there's a lot of famous coaches, and obviously they've done great things, but if they don't have the the horses or the thoroughbreds or whatever you want to call them, the athletes, to commit themselves every day to doing the work and so on and so forth, then perhaps that doesn't happen. You need the athletes, and I think it's important to remember that they're the ones out there doing the work. As much as coaches draw up the master plan and this and that, it's the other people that are actually beating themselves up every day and putting in the work and sacrificing a lot. So I think it's important to revolve your program around your athletes. Number two, creating a culture of hard work, respect, and inclusiveness. They don't always go together. Okay, I've seen programs where it was like segregated cliques, and it was a shame to see. You create the culture around hard work, respecting each other, and inclusiveness. You'll see a lot of continual progress. And again, happy athletes are productive athletes, and that goes out. That goes on the coaching side too. It's important to respect other coaches, your assistants, or respect the head coach if you're the assistant, and so on. I'm not of the belief system that head coaches should be abusing assistant coaches or making them be errand boys and things like that, or errand girls. That's why are you there as a coach? You're there to learn, to become a better coach. So I'm of the opinion that the more you help your coaches, the better off they're going to be, and the more productive they're going to be to the program overall and to the athletes. And respecting the coaches, respecting the athletes, got to go both ways. Okay, and inclusiveness, again, making everybody feel, the 450 milers feel as important as the 4-minute milers. Yes, there will be different types of attention paid in specific cases because there's going to be a little bit more need here and there for some folks. I get it, but making everybody feel like they're an important part of the program is a really, really, really key thing. Okay. Number three. This one is I noticed a lot over the years as well. Be open-minded. Okay, and what I mean by that is coaches learn from athletes too. Athletes are not the only ones that learn from coaches. Okay, it goes both ways. I've learned things from athletes, over the years, and you'd be surprised at how knowledgeable your athletes, particularly your experienced ones, are with regards to the sport. And I had one guy who my coach, who was a post-collegiate runner, and he got down to 13:35 for 5K, mid 28s for 10K. He was really good. And in the beginning, when I was working with him, he had some good pearls, some good insights in training, and he actually suggested some things that I went back and I looked, and they actually made sense. So I incorporated some of the things into the training They fit here, they fit there, they flowed well with other things. So be willing to learn from athletes as well. You'd be surprised at what you can learn. Number 4, people do look to you for guidance. So as a coach, not everybody, but a good amount of people do. So it's important to be a leader, to be reliable, okay? And just be honest with them. Don't try to make up something. If you don't know, you don't know. It's important to be able to be transparent with your athletes, but they will look for a leader. And again, it doesn't always have to be something. You could just be a shoulder to cry on. You could be somebody who's having trouble. You can help them, because as a coach too, you're in a way you're their therapist at times as well. If things are not going well at home, for some reason, if there's some trouble at home or if there's some trouble in classes academically, it can affect their performance. It can affect their training. So it's important to be cognizant of that. And being a leader can be many definitions to a lot of different people. So being there for your athletes is very important. Okay? Even when it's not convenient for you. Right? Plan things out for everybody is number 5. What I mean by that is you'll generally have, if you're coaching, obviously high school, college, or a big club, and you have a Tuesday workout, it might be, okay, everybody's doing mile repeats on Tuesday. Or everybody's doing, they're all training for this, right? They're doing halves or whatever it is. By planning things out, you'll see where, and you'll be able to see over months and weeks and years, is everybody progressing at the same rate? Do I need to add something here? Do I need to transition something else for everybody? Everybody has individualized needs, and when you plan things out, you start to identify them over the course of your coaching, tenure with your athletes. And it's important to be able to do that and tinker or modify components of their training, because you want to keep them progressing along the way. And if everybody, there's no one size fits all. Not 10 people are not going to do the same workout and all respond the same way. People might need more recovery. Somebody might be well doing 2 or 3 workouts a week. One person might need 1 workout a week. It really depends. So that's generally what I mean by planning things out for everybody. And it also helps you monitor progress, okay? And by having a plan, you'll be in a much better position to make changes. If something suddenly happens, you can look at something and say, okay, they've done this. This is where we can make adjustments, and so on. So it helps with preparation. Number 6, help develop other leaders. This one's an important one too. And a culture of independence. One of the things I learned in college is as becoming an independent thinker. You learn to think critically for yourself, and you learn to. I had to work 3 jobs when I was in college. And I went to college in New York City, very expensive place. And again, I had to work 3 jobs. They didn't give scholarships, so I learned how to become independent pretty quickly. And we did not have a meal plan, so I had to learn how to cook too, which was crazy. But in hindsight now, couldn't be more grateful for that. But you'll notice some people on a team that have strong personalities or a little bit more some leadership traits, and you can delegate certain things to them. He or she can be captain of this group or leader of this training group, and so on. And you communicate with them a little bit, just to check in and see how things are going, and so on and so forth. And some people might welcome that. Some people might want that. It's part of who they are, and it also helps them be more productive. So by helping to develop other leaders, you also can, especially if you have a large team, it helps you make your life a little bit easier as well, especially if you can trust them to handle things. And again, you're not asking them to be a coach, just asking them to, kind of hold that little group together. And it doesn't have to be a 20-person group. It could be a 5-person group, And if they're leading the runs or just helping their teammates out with something that I cannot help them out or you cannot help them out with, it's a good thing. And creating a culture of independence, you're putting your athletes in a good position to go out and survive on their own and think critically for themselves, post-college especially. But the more independent you help them become, the better off they're going to be. So, another one. Number 7. This one, again, this kind of flows into a lot of things. Communicate, listen, make progress. Okay, and I've said this stuff before with communicating with your athletes and listening especially. If they're having trouble at home academically, it's going to affect other parts. It's going to affect their training. It's going to affect their performance. So it's important to sit back and listen. Okay, does he or she need a little something different? Do we need to tail training back a little bit, or whatever? Does he or she need to work out on their own? Whatever it is, or is there anything I can do to help them, whether it be find a job or help them with, at home, or whatever is most appropriate. By listening to your athletes, you get a pulse of what's going on, and also, it shows them that they can rely on you, they can trust you to be supportive, that you have their best interest in mind. Because, like I said in the first one, you're tailoring the needs of your program around your athletes and not yourself. This is exactly a prime example of that. Okay, it's about your athletes, not about you, and this is a great way that you can show that. And again, hopefully, you won't have a lot of these situations, but things get crazy. People have stuff comes up. There's family problems, there's school problems, classes are hard. If you can help them get a tutor or whatever it is, it's important. And by communicating with your athletes, it helps build that culture of trust and reliability. And it's just gonna enhance everything else in training, whether it be good or bad. A brutal truth is so much better than an inconvenient lie, and or than a convenient lie, I should say. You'd be surprised. Okay, and on the flip side, you'd be surprised at how damaging it can be if you're not communicating with your athletes, or if they're not communicating with you. Because now, especially on a team, there's a not only a culture of kind of reliability, but accountability. Okay, they're accountable for their teammates now, and you're accountable as well as a coach. But now, as a team, it's a team. We need to make sure that everybody's kind of doing the right thing, and if they're not doing something that they should be doing, or if they're doing something that they should not be doing, it can affect everybody else. So the counter of accountability is there too, and it's important to communicate that. Okay, and again, don't expect your athletes to do something you wouldn't be doing. Okay, you expect their commitment, you should be fully committed as well. So again, a lot of this stuff is obvious. It might be preaching to the choir, but these are good things to reinforce. So you might have a different perspective on this. Number 8. Racing and training needs. I went over it a little bit. At some point they become individualized. Some people might need more races. Some people might need less races. That's okay. Okay. At the end of the day, you want them performing their best when it counts the most at the end of the season, or at their goal race. So it's important to plug that in accordingly. Some people might need 5 races. Some people might need 7. Some people might need 3. Doesn't matter. Okay. Doesn't matter. Not everybody has to race together every single time. Okay, it's not realistic. Okay, and with regard to the training as well, like I said, some people might need more workouts. Some people might need different workouts. Some people might need less workouts. It really depends. This group might need threshold running. This group might need some repeat running, or whatever it is. That's why drawing out the training helps you address other things. Okay. Number 9. Not every cross-country runner is a distance runner, and again, you learn this too. I had a 53-second in high school, 53-second 400-meter hurdler, who was also like a 156 half miler, was also a 49 quarter miler. So he was a 400, 800 type guy. He happened to be my number 4 guy in cross country. He translated well upward. Now again, you're going for 4K and 5K, not 8K, 10K, but and I had to not only bring him along with the cross-country team with regards to some longer runs and some longer workouts, but I had to phase him into, I had to give him an opportunity to do the workouts that tailored to his strengths as well. So I also had a a guy on my cross-country team one year who was, I think, my number 6 guy, but he was like a 22-foot long jumper and a 14-foot pole vaulter, high school guy. It is what it is. You never really know. But he happened to like running. He had a good, aerobic foundation already, and he was helpful in cross country. Did we keep him as Did I try to make him a distance runner? No. Again, he came back and went to doing his events and that he enjoys the most, but he became helpful in cross country. So you never really know what you're going to get, and it's important to not expect everybody to be a distance runner that runs cross country. Okay, and number 10. And kind of ties into number 9. It's important to incorporate middle distance and sprint training into a cross-country program as well, whether it be 4 by 200 meter fast, or 8 by 200 meter fast, or whatever it is, 10 by 400 meters, going from 5K pace down to 3K pace, or whatever it is. It's important to incorporate those types of workouts as well, so that the distance runners and the middle distance runners can kind of meet at a midpoint. Okay, the middle distance runners get to beat up the distance runners a little bit, because the distance runners are generally beating up the middle distance runners in the longer workouts. But you're building strength through speed as well, and you're building speed through strength. So both ways. Okay, and it's important to incorporate this stuff too, so that your training doesn't become stale. The last thing you want to do is 12 weeks of just long stuff. Okay, at some point you've got to have variety, and it's important to have variety. So, and I'll show you. Look down below. I'll put some cross-country training programs so you can see for yourself how things are broken down. Okay, and I give everything in full detail. I encourage you to take a look at them, and you'll see how I break the training down. It's all systematic. It's all methodical. It's with the goal of everybody being able to progress along the way. And again, if you have more insights of your own other things, again, like I said, I learn from you. If you're an athlete or a coach, put them in the comments down below. I welcome feedback. I welcome dialogue. I respond to all the comments as well, and I appreciate it too. So, but if you're a runner or a coach and you just want some insights and great details on training programs, extensive details, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. You'll find a lot of good details in the videos, and you won't want to miss the things that I'm going to be putting out moving forward either. So, with that said, be safe out there, train hard, train smart, okay, and look out for each other, and I'll talk to you soon.